Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel, and this is a pleasant surprise. Take a look at this. Ripple has partnered with a central bank, which is now in trial, utilizing the private version of the XRP ledger. Well, how about that? And so upon tweeting this out earlier today, XRP Crypto Wolf he wrote something in response to this, which I was just kind of nodding. I was just kind of nodding as I read this. So here's what XRP Crypto Wolf said in response to this news. Ripple is partnering with central banks while they're getting sued by the SEC. What kind of partnerships do you think they'll announce after they win the XRP lawsuit? Indeed, it's an excellent question. I assume that the adoption client acquisition with Ripple, all of that's going to just be kind of what it is, but on steroids once this is all completely settled. Now, this particular news I want to run through, it's good for XRP holders, and I will articulate why. This is a piece of Ripple's plan in furthering the adoption of XRP. And so if you're like me and you believe that utility matters and will win the day, even if today is not the day that it matters sufficiently to the market, then this is going to interest you. But I firmly believe that those cryptocurrencies that actually solve real world problems for real people will be the only ones that are going to have any sort of long-term viability. And we are heading in this direction irreversibly at this point. So, but before going any further, I do want to be clear that I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related things, but just as a hobby, just for fun. That is all that's going on here. So let's set the table to make sure that everybody is caught up to speed here. And to be clear, it's not the case that a government is utilizing the XRP ledger itself to issue a central bank digital currency. That would be silly. What's happening here is Ripple has basically set up a template, which any central bank can take and run with and tweak it. It's not set in stone. It's a template, but it takes a lot of the highly desirable attributes of the XRP ledger and then tailors it to what a government would want if they're going to launch their own central bank digital currency. And so why would they not want to utilize the XRP ledger? Well, it's not because there's something wrong with the XRP ledger itself. It just doesn't make sense. Governments are they're going to insist that they remain financially sovereign, and they're not going to want to cede any control to a public blockchain. They're going to want to have complete control, period. They would never utilize any sort of blockchain technology or anything of the sort if they didn't have complete control. Because imagine, even if you're as close to 100% as certain as possible that nothing from a technological perspective is going to go wrong, what if it does and you're not in control? Which is why central banks, they're going to insist that they have the ability to roll back transactions, and it will never be, I can't imagine, on a decentralized network. I mean, if something like that ever happens where a central bank digital currency is actually issued on a public blockchain, I couldn't even tell you how far away we are from that reality because the world is still in the earliest stages of adopting that. There's no way a central bank is going to feel comfortable in 2021 doing that. There's not a snowball's chance in hell, I'll tell you that. And so anyway, we knew that we were heading in this direction, but this is cool because this is the first country on the entire planet to take Ripple up on their technological opportunity here to try out their version of this template for a central bank digital currency, which is powered by XRP ledger technology. It is, even though it's a separate blockchain, it's the same engine under the hood. And so there was this is from March 3rd this year. This is from Ripple Insights, which is their blog series titled "Ripple Pilots a Private Ledger for Central Banks Launching Central Bank Digital Currencies." And here you go. Ripple is piloting a private version of the public open source XRP ledger that provides central banks a secure, controlled, and flexible solution for the issuance and management of digital currencies. Exactly. So that's it in a nutshell. I don't want to read this whole thing. I just want to make sure people are caught up to speed here. But you might be wondering, well, how is this possibly going to benefit XRP? Well, if Ripple's plan rolls out the way that they see it, it's an inevitability. Take a look at this. The central bank digital currency private ledger is based on the same blockchain technology that powers the XRP ledger, which means that the central bank digital currency private ledger is built for payments. This also means that the central bank digital currency private ledger is designed for issuing currencies, with over 5,400 currencies issued on the XRP ledger over the past 8 years, including its native digital asset XRP, which can be leveraged, this is the part, which can be leveraged as a neutral bridge asset for frictionless value movement between central bank digital currencies and other currencies. And so what we're moving towards is a world where there's going to be less friction when it comes to moving money. So you're going to get more of this activity. Because think about it. There are fewer hurdles, including processing time, including the fact that these transactions can occur for effectively free. Well, you're going to have more people moving more money. Because right now you've got all sorts of small, like even think about microtransactions. Like people aren't moving small amounts of money like a nickel or a dime or a quarter, but there are people on the planet that would if it were economically viable. And with the technology that exists today, it actually is. But the thing is, all of these currencies, they don't by nature interact, They don't. Because if you want a currency to interact with another currency, you've got to have some sort of trust level somewhere. Right, and so that's what happens with in the traditional financial system, legacy financial system. In order to have settlement even be possible, you have pre-funding of accounts. And so in this particular case, you still do need something as a bridge, but XRP is already one of the most liquid cryptocurrencies on the entire planet. And so as long as it's continually being traded, that is liquidity, and it moves so blazing fast. But as long as that's continuing to happen, then you can just tap into XRP for that liquidity. But understand, there's not going to be a pair with sufficient liquidity for every other, currency, whether it's a central bank digital currency or whatever it is. There's not going to be that level of liquidity for everything. You're not going to be able to match every single type of, monetary asset or actual form of money with every other form of that. It's not going to happen, which is why you're always going to need a bridge. And so that's what's happening right here. XRP being positioned specifically for this, and which is why we recognize, and this is just one use case for XRP, and there are others, but it is the most famous use case. XRP is a bridge currency, and so you just got to kind of ask yourself, like, what do you think is going to happen in a world where this is widely adopted, where there's more money moving around more freely because it economically makes sense to do so, and all that stuff needs to be paired somehow? Might XRP have a role for that? Because look, XRP is the best cryptocurrency on the planet for payments, period. And it has something that you cannot code into any cryptocurrency, which is liquidity. Either it's being traded on platforms, exchanges the world over, or it's not, and XRP most certainly is. And so given that it's already got that first mover advantage in terms of being the first significant cryptocurrency designed specifically for payments, where do you think this is ultimately going? And so the latest news today, let me jump into this. Yeah, here's the tab here. Here we go. So they titled this, Ripple put this up again just earlier today. Bhutan advances financial inclusion and sustainability with Ripple's central bank digital currency solution. And by the way, I will not pretend to have been aware previously of this country's existence, so I just quickly Googled it. And here you can see it's a country in South Asia. And so Bhutan, a Buddhist kingdom on the Himalayas eastern edge. And so there you go. But anyway, today we are proud to announce our partnership with Bhutan's central bank, the Royal Monetary Authority, or RMA for short, who will use Ripple's central bank digital currency solution to pilot a central bank digital currency in phases. Now, this move is driven by the nation's desire to enhance digital and cross-border payments, expand financial inclusion efforts, and extend its commitment to sustainability as the only carbon-negative country in the world. I didn't know such a place existed. How about that? Over the past few years, the RMA has established itself as a leader in financial innovation. Building atop the country's payments infrastructure and capabilities, this new initiative will tap our central bank digital currency solution to support seamless retail, cross-border, and wholesale payment use cases for digital Ingoltrum. Now, I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm not going to pretend to know, but there you go. There's their currency. The Ingoltrum just rolls off the tongue, folks. Just rolls off the tongue. Anyway, the RMA believes that easier, faster, and more affordable payments, both domestically and internationally, will help it reach its goal of increasing financial inclusion by 85% by 2023. The power of the technology underlying the XRP ledger, combined with Ripple's experience in cross-border payments and tokenization, will harness tremendous speed, cost, and innovation advantages in support of this mission. And so it's interesting. I don't want to read this whole thing, and not that it's that long. That's kind of the meat of it, though. But I will note this also because this is fun. You all are aware that Bitcoin and every proof of work blockchain on the planet is under attack from a political perspective because blockchain technology, proof of work is an energy hog, right? And so here you can say this is true of the XRP ledger private version here, the central bank digital currency private ledger. 120,000 times more energy efficient, and so which is same for the XRP ledger here, and so it's fascinating. So there's not going to be any pushback on that front, which is nice because the Bitcoin folks, this is a headache that many of them didn't really see being of any sort of significant consequence. But on the flip side, there are those that actually did see this would be a problem, including David Schwartz, who's one of the creators of the XRP ledger itself. Also interesting, the central bank digital currency private ledger here that Ripple has created, it's actually faster than the XRP ledger, which isn't necessarily surprising because, I mean, it's a centralized solution. So the way that you come to consensus, less hurdles, let's say. But I don't think that it particularly matters. So the XRP ledger, still blazing fast, can handle up to 1,500 transactions on-chain per second. And just on layer 1, the central bank digital currency version of the XRP ledger here can handle tens of thousands of transactions per second. And it can scale. They do cite, too, that it can scale to hundreds of thousands of transactions per second. It could probably go beyond that, too. But the truth is that even the XRP ledger can essentially scale infinitely by setting up payment channels anyway, where you're just batching multiple transactions in one single transaction. And so you get better throughput. But we're like nowhere near that. I don't think it's functionally going to matter. But even when we get there, yeah, there are solutions. They're not going to have the same problem that we're having with Bitcoin, which can only handle 5 to 7 transactions per second, and then it just tops out right there. So we're in good shape with XRP and the XRP ledger. But interesting stuff. Isn't it cool to kind of see this? Because look, this is the type of stuff that ultimately, if you're an XRP holder, it's worth being excited about it. Because really, any developer building on top of the XRP ledger, we should be rooting for all of them, and they're not all going to find success, and that's okay. That's what you find out when you start building stuff in the open market. But and that's just how it is. It's kind of a messy process, but some of this stuff I think is really going to stick, and it's very clear that the XRP ledger and XRP itself, it's here to stay. People have found it useful. It's supremely liquid, and if anything starts to change, I will start running for the hills, and I will scream it from the rooftops of this Moon Lambo YouTube channel to warn everybody. But man, I see things going in the right direction here. Just continued adoption. And what better way to bridge all of these central bank digital currencies than XRP? Because look, I think every nation, you just fast forward to a sufficient amount of time in the future, every nation is going to have their own central bank digital currency. And you're going to have people that utilize wallets, their wallet of choice, there may be even government issued ones, but why wouldn't there be wallets where you've got these central bank digital currencies sitting there next to cryptocurrencies? Because that's what I would anticipate would happen at some point in the future. But and that's going to cut out some middlemen there. That's for sure, because you can think about merchant transactions and there's hurdles, because even if you think about what it takes to utilize a central bank digital currency electronically rather than using a credit card, which you can also use electronically, even just using your phone, you can enter your credit card information, right? Well, why do you need the middleman? If you've just got a central bank digital currency and the government's got control over it and they've doled it out, like, what the hell does it even matter? And I'm not saying credit cards even go away. I'm not necessarily stating that. There are always going to be people that will want loans. They'll want to be able to utilize more money than they actually have. So I'm not saying they'll even go away, but I am saying that in a new world, like, things are gonna look a bit different. It's just a constant evolution here, and it's exciting. We're right on the cutting edge of all of this. But I'll go ahead and wrap up. I am not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the Moon Lambo.